On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released over, I think it was 3.5 million pages of the Jeffrey Epstein documents. But buried in that release is an internal FBI email. I think it was from August 28th, 2019. And you're not going to believe what's in this email. And let's just say it kind of proves the whole premise of this video correct. But we're going to start with that and work our way backwards. So in this interview, I'm just going to read it because I don't think there's any room for speculation. And some of the things in here are too hot for YouTube. So I'm going to have to blank out some of the words, unfortunately, but that's the nature of this. The subject line of this email is interview with a purported Epstein victim, a male victim, and he described what he witnessed on a yacht. What did he describe? Well, if you follow this channel, you probably already know because we've been talking about this for a long time. And we're not the only ones, by the way. This is something that has been, let's just say, suppressed in the mainstream. They like to paint this picture as totally false. There is nothing factual about it, and people who bring it up have something wrong with them. Except that couldn't be farther from the truth. And we're going to prove that in this video. So what did he witness? What did he witness on that yacht that fateful day that these FBI agents are talking about in this internal email? Well, he witnessed, let's just say, babies being...
Wait, what are you saying?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
They witnessed babies that were being unalived, and pieces of those were removed from them and consumed. Let's just say that, all right? And guys, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying this actually happened. What I'm saying is this is in the Jeffrey Epstein emails. So whether or not this happened, you be the judge. I'm just presenting to you what's in the emails. But it doesn't stop there because this man, this victim, described it as a ritualistic sacrifice. He even said that his own feet were cut with a scimitar. And guys, here's the crazy part. Again, I'm not saying whether this is true or not. I'm just saying it's simply in the files. This man, he named George H.W. Bush. And we know he was in Skull and Bones, and he's been accused of being in, let's just say, involved with some pretty shady things. So whether or not that's true, that's up to you. But the FBI agent's written response to his colleague says something like this. He said, I didn't realize Bush him too. And the fact that he used the word too, the FBI agent used the word too in this email, in my opinion, it indicates that there were others that were implicated in this, and the FBI knew the names of those other people. Now, why those emails aren't released with this batch, who knows? And, this whole new batch of Epstein emails, it doesn't really prove too much because, again, a lot of the stuff is totally redacted. There's whole black pages, and there's a lot of stuff that's just mysteriously missing from it. But with over 3 million files released, with over 3 million documents released, I think it's going to take a while for people to go through it and to really dig up the true meat of this, right? So where am I going with this? Well, I found something extremely interesting, a documented event that took place halfway around the world in Australia. And this event seemingly links together what the Epstein files talk about with what the media denies even exists and with what people and with what whistleblowers have been saying is true for a long time, right? What am I talking about? Well, in November 2025, Australian police arrested 4 men in Sydney for what they called, and guys, I'm quoting directly here, for what they called a quote, international satanic child ring. Now, this investigation is called Strike Force Constantine. It remains active today, right now, as you watch this video. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's not a cold case. It is an active case right now. But here's the thing. The official narrative that they want us to believe anyway, is that this is just mass hysteria. It's the satanic panic. It's been exposed, debunked, and, discredited decades ago. And the only people that believe that now are conspiracy theorists. But what if the story that they say, what if that story that the whole satanic panic thing was just debunked and discredited? What if that's not the whole story? What if the whole story is far darker and far more, let's just say, evil than the mainstream media would like people to believe? Now, before I get into what we're going to be talking about in this video, I'm going to show you a clip. This is a short clip. I think it's like 2 minutes long. It's from an interview I did with a man named Russ Dizdar. Now, those of you who watch my channel regularly probably have seen this clip before, but I want to insert it here because it's extremely relevant to this conversation what we just talked about and what we are going to be talking about. So watch this clip with Russ Dizdar, and I'll see you afterwards.
Well, see, first of all, it's normal when you go to the Old Testament, Moloch and the Baals, they wanted the children. Explained to me by Satanists because it's a higher level of blasphemy to God, against God. It's and for some reason the demons love bringing that kind of harm. We look at a child and automatically we're going to protect them, save them, guard them, whatever it takes. They look at a child, they'd eat it alive, they destroy it, they'd torture it. You got to remember that's their nature. And so if they can show more of their nature to a defenseless child, they love that. That's why some rituals are called demon revels or satanic revels. The younger, the better. And we never kill them right away. We prolong the. Why? Because we have to raise the energies, the terror, the fear, and then little by little letting some out, because and all that torment. It's like, think in terms of rats and garbage. Smelly old garbage draws the rats. A ritual with all that pain, ultimately prescribed by the demons in the first place, it draws them. And once they begin to open the blood gate, that's what they attach to in the context ritual. Then when a child or a human is, that's when the demons are released to the practitioners. So it's all about their unsatiable hatred of God. Anything they can do to harm humanity, harm innocence, as an attack on God in a sense. There's no question in their nature, they don't shed a tear. They don't have any mercy. So they'll harm, and they love that as part of the entrance to come into the site. There's some people right now. It's like, good news is we're working with some people, law enforcement people, that are going to go after them, and praise God if they get jailed. I even told some of them in Pennsylvania, if they go to jail, praise God they go to jail. That because we realize this, like that, Satanist ritualistic pedophiles, they don't stop until they get stopped.
For many in the United States and Canada, it's much more convenient. It feels better to deny that Satanism is rampant in America and Canada. It feels better to deny that we have young people by the millions now captivated in something that can make killers out of them. And yet, my friend, right now, there are over 12 million teenagers and younger children who are now involved in the occult in one way or another. And denying it isn't going to make any difference. See, whether you believe in occultism, whether you believe that Satan has power, whether you believe that Satan can give you the things that he's promising these kids, that's immaterial, my friend, because they believe it.
So if you're under the age of 40, you probably learned about the satanic panic the same way that everybody else did, right? It was just nothing but hysterical parents. It was overzealous prosecutors and fundamental religious people who were, ruining the lives of innocent people, saying that they were involved with these things when they really weren't. But here's the thing, guys. There are pieces of evidence, there are documents that nobody has seen. Well, I should say people have seen, but most people haven't seen. And I would say that the majority of the public, they have never seen this. They've never heard about it. And when they do find out about it, they're shocked that they can't believe it even exists. 4 years before the FBI published their famous debunking of, satanic ritual abuse and satanic panic, all this stuff, they tried to debunk it, right? 4 years before that, what happened? The United States Department of Justice released a law enforcement training manual called what? Those of you that know, put it in the comments. It was called Satanic Cult Awareness. Now, one of the contributors to this document was a detective with the San Francisco Police Department. I think it was the first recognized law enforcement specialist that was into the occult, or not into the occult, but specialized in the occult, I should say, in occult crimes. And the thing about this document too, the United States Defense Investigative Service, I believe it is, they reviewed it and they approved it. And not only that, a bunch of other career investigators, they teamed together to write this document. So it wasn't just one person pulling all of this stuff out of thin air. No, this was a coordinated effort to gather intelligence to gather information and to piece together things that were kind of fragmented and bring it all together into one unified document so that people like, i.e. law enforcement officers who may or may not come in contact with these types of crimes would be better equipped to handle them based on, what's in this document. And the document also goes on to say that the crimes, they're vicious, they're revolting, and they create fear in whatever community they take place in. So think about this, right? So what does this mean? Think about this. It means that the federal government, it trained the police across the country to investigate satanic ritual crimes. Officially, on the record. Okay? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It never was, and it never will be. The fact is that they're trying to cover this whole thing up in a way that discredits it. So whenever somebody might bring up the claims in the future, they're laughed at in the same way that they used to laugh at the UFO people. Like I said, this DOJ manual is pretty long, Satanic Cult Awareness. I think it runs like 47, 48 pages, something like that. It's a pretty long document, and it lists different types of abuse that these Satanists do to their victims. Physical confinement in cages, sexual torture, forced witness of murder, brainwashing, near-death experiences that are used as control mechanisms. So basically psychological torture, fracturing of personalities, like all the things that people have been saying that they've been doing forever, right? And this document also lists 32 different occult-related like homicide clues for crime scene investigators, so that when they're investigating a murder or investigating whatever, if they come across these clues in a specific way, it might point them to say, hey, this isn't just, a random murder. This is a ritualistic murder, and it was done by a group of people. And understand this, people. This wasn't theory. This was training material. Yet the mainstream media says it's all fake. All right. So there's a shift. There's a disconnect. Something changed. And it was in 1992, I think was the year where everything did change. And there was a FBI special agent by the name of Kenneth Landing, I think it was. Kenneth Landing. Yeah. He published this report. So, and what was his conclusion in this report? Well, I think his conclusion went something like this. There's little to no corroborating evidence for organized ritualistic satanic abuse, something like that. He chalked it all up to false memories, contaminated interviews, and like mass hysteria. And Newsweek, they ran with it. New York Times, they ran with it. All of the major media companies ran with it. And they propped this whole document up and said, look, satanic panic, it's not real. This whole thing is fake. It's all just mass hysteria. You guys can all calm down now. These things actually didn't happen. And go and, watch football, all right? Distract yourselves.
The FBI's 1988 Uniform Crime Report indicates more than 18,000 murder investigations during that year, and 26% of those murders were listed as bizarre or ritualistic. In that same year, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children listed more than 9,000 unresolved cases of missing children. The National Clearinghouse on Satanic Crime in America estimates 50% of the cases of missing children and bizarre murders may be linked directly to satanic and other occult organizations. It is common for these groups to kidnap their victims, usually infants and young children, from hospitals, orphanages, shopping centers, or off the streets. Others live and die without a trace. This is because some children are born to cult members and later killed, so there are no records of their births or deaths. Inmate interviews conducted by Professor Al Carlisle of the Utah State Prison System show that lawbreakers are heavily involved in the occult. There may be as many as 60,000 human sacrifices per year in this country, according to Professor Carlisle, and there is a distinct correlation, he says, with these human sacrifices and the high number of missing persons. This is because some satanic groups dispose of their victim by dismembering the body and cremating the remains, eliminating any possibilities for identification. Members of satanic and occult groups come from all walks of life. Many are highly intelligent individuals. Michael A. Aquino, senior initiate and founder of the Temple of Set in San Francisco, is also a lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army Reserve. He's received a top-secret security clearance to attend the National Defense University in Washington, D.C. Anton Sandor LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan, was once a circus lion tamer. These charismatic leaders, and many like them, seek out others who have a high degree of intelligence.
So anyway, guys, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this document? Do you think the Epstein document, do you think it's legit? Or do you think it's just some crazy guy who came, walked into like an FBI station and was like, hey, I have some dirt on Epstein. Let me write a report. Because I guess that's theoretically possible too. It's possible that that's just, some random, not credible person who's just making stuff up. But I ask you this, if it's not credible, if this document, the one from the Epstein files, is fake, if it's just, the musings of a crazy person, well, then why would the FBI put it into the Epstein files? Why would it be a classified part of the Epstein files that just got released? Why? Doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense at all. If it was fake, they would probably just laugh when the guy left. They're not going to file this report. They're going to laugh at him, and they're going to ridicule him when he leaves. So, bottom line, guys, what do you think? Put it in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your opinions on this. Thank you for watching this video. We will see you guys next time, and God bless you all.